Hi Leo and Leo Rising, this is your October 2016 forecast. So September was a month of a lot of flux and change, and the signs ruled by the luminaries, Leo and Cancer, are known to be more sensitive to eclipses, and there were two of those. And for you, these would have been in your financial houses, so the second and the eighth house, so it could have affected your income. Money could have been slow coming in with Mercury retrograde in Virgo. And, you may have found yourself doing taxes and tedious affairs around finances. So projects like that would have been never ending. But October is said to be a much more harmonious month. And Jupiter, of course, has moved into Libra. So let's look at where Libra is in your chart. If your ascendant is Leo, then Libra will be in your third house. And this will apply to themes around Leo's suns as well. But do check your ascendant sign also. So Jupiter will be in Libra and in your third house until October next year. So let's look at what this signifies for you. So the third house has to do with the mind. It has to do with communications, neighbors and siblings. So Jupiter here will work to enhance the mind and your scope and breadth of vision. But it's also very good for teaching and learning opportunities and opportunities for travel and day-to-day affairs. So Jupiter in this placement will also enlarge your scope of influence, and so you'll find you're interacting with more people, and so your environment in terms of people that you engage with on a day-to-day level is likely to be busier than usual. But like I said, very good for projects around learning, travel, publishing, teaching, and good for broadening the mind. So Jupiter here is also very good if you need to sell yourself and your ideas, because it will make people more receptive to you by and large. So a very good place for Jupiter to work its scope in terms of mental capacity, in terms of your sphere of influence, and your capacity to affect other people favorably. You'll also find that this is good for people, like I said, because this is the house of neighbors and siblings. So, interactions with people in your daily round are likely to improve. So let's look at what else is happening in October. Mars is going to be in Capricorn in your sixth house for the entire month of October. And Mars is very strongly placed in Capricorn. Capricorn is an earth sign. It's industrious, resourceful, very good at goal setting, strategic planning, and patience. So although Mars is an energetic warrior planet that works on our goals and ambitions, it does so very constructively. And, the work ethic is second to none. So Mars in your sixth house is going to show a lot of industry in work. You'll also be taking a lot of pride in the work that you do. And, you'll really be concentrating your effort on work and work affairs. So with this placement of Mars, if you don't have a lot of work to do, it's good to find some and do it, because you won't want to waste this energy. Mars can make you a little bit more ego-orientated, so if you need to work with others, try and, at least maneuver yourself so that you're working as independently as possible, because the sixth house is the house of service, so often the ego energies of Mars can clash a little bit with those in authority. So to minimize this, like I said, try and maneuver yourself so that, you're working in your own sphere of influence as much as possible. Of course, if you work for yourself, this won't be a problem. So Venus is going to be in your fourth house until the 18th of October. And this is very good for enhancing family ties. It also can show up as spending money on the home and redecorating projects. And Venus can sometimes be quite lavish in this respect. From the 18th, though, Venus is moving into your fifth house, which is the house of creativity, fun, and romance, and pleasure. So you'll be having a good time. And, people are going to be very responsive to you being yourself, especially in a romantic capacity. So, lots of opportunities for pleasurable outings and lots of opportunities for romance in the last part of the month. So on the 1st of October, there's a beautiful new moon in Libra. So this kind of inaugurates Jupiter's placement here. So this new moon is in your third house and has the Sun, Moon, and Jupiter loosely conjunct. So this favors, the start of projects around, either selling yourself or your ideas, or a teaching or publishing opportunity, or a project for learning. So you may decide to embark on a new course of study. The luminaries are also sextiling Saturn, and Saturn is very good for getting things off the ground. So you'll want to use this concentrated effort to set goals and constructively plan ways to, make those dreams of Jupiter in terms of travel, publishing, study, a reality. So a very constructive placement for helping you bring those things into realization. So on the 4th, that aspect between the Sun and Saturn perfects. So set those goals, make those action plans, and get those projects off the ground. On the 5th, Mars is squaring Jupiter, and with Mars in your 6th house, you want to watch the tendency with this aspect not to get ahead of yourself. It can be good for launching work projects, but, the surplus energy can often make you over-enthusiastic and overreach a little bit, so a bit over-exuberant. But if you manage this, it's a very constructive aspect for work and getting work done, even more than you're already doing at this time. So on the 7th, the Sun is squaring Pluto, and Pluto is also in your 6th house, and the Sun is in the 3rd house of communications. So on this day, you'd want to watch power struggles with other people. Pluto can be uncomfortable or hidden tensions. So, and the Sun can shed a light on these. So if there have been simmering tensions on the back burner, the Sun will illuminate these. So issues can come up, but now at least you know what they are, and again have the capacity to deal with it constructively. So on the 13th and the 14th, these are also days you'd want to be a little bit more careful. Mercury is squaring Mars, and Mercury is also sextiling Saturn. So although the Mercury sextile Saturn is very good for teaching and learning, either teaching somebody else or learning from somebody else, Mercury square Mars can make you angry, opinionated, defensive, and there the influence of Saturn can work negatively in that it will make you more gloomy and pessimistic. So angry and gloomy. So you'll just want to be careful that you don't say more than you bargained on. So the 16th of October has quite an eventful or surprising full moon. And this is going to be in your 9th house. So the 9th house has to do with, again, travel, learning, but it's less concerned with the mundane day-to-day affairs of the 3rd house, but more opportunities to take you beyond the scope of the mundane into the extraordinary. So this is going to be around opportunities for learning or travel plans. So, with the moon conjunct Uranus during the full moon, in your 9th house and the Sun opposing Uranus from your 3rd, you can expect some communication errors. So possibly, you may find some hitches in travel plans or, a higher course of study that you want to take. The 9th house is also the house of law, so it could be some legal upsets. But this is going to be largely dependent on your personal chart. But look to see how these surprising events, which can involve other people as well, surprising you in these areas of your life. So teachers, lawyers, even astrologers, or with plans around these things, events could take a surprising turn. So on the 23rd, the Sun is moving into Scorpio. So the last week of the month, the Sun will be in So on the 23rd of October, the Sun moves into Scorpio. So the last week of the month and the first 3 weeks of next month, the Sun is going to be illuminating your house of home, family, roots, and connectedness. So when the Sun is in this house, one tends to want to have a stable base of operations, so rooted in the home, focused on family and close ties, focused on a sense of belonging, so a strong foundation. On the 29th, Mars is squaring Uranus, and Mars and Uranus together can be very accident prone. This could be in the office for you, since this is the house of, work. And, you might want to just be a little bit more careful because this, like I said, could make you a little bit more rash and impulsive. So this could either show conflict with somebody else, yet again, unexpectedly, or the capacity to injure yourself. So physical injury, such as spraining a muscle. So on the 29th, Venus conjuncts Saturn in your 5th house. So Venus and Saturn could show taking a romantic relationship to a more permanent and lasting variety. So taking it from an infatuation to a more permanent relationship. But with Venus and Saturn, things can go either way. You know, Venus is the planet of love, affection, and harmony. And Saturn is the planet of restriction and constraint. But it's also very stabilizing. So this can either show you, like I said, taking a commitment around romance further, so making it into a significant relationship or partnership, or it could show you cooling off in this regard. So maybe you were blowing hot and now you blow cold, but the reverse could also be true. Maybe now you decide to tie down your affections and make a lasting commitment to someone else. You'll just have to see how this plays out. So the month concludes with a new moon in Scorpio in your 4th house, with very favorable aspects to Neptune. So the Sun, Moon, and Mercury are lined up trining Neptune. And for you, this will be in your 4th house. So this shows new projects around the home. This can be with redecorating, and for some it might be investing in property. So it's going to be the startup of things that are going to help you feel more stable and secure and rooted. And it's very good for re-establishing family ties and connections, and so really getting your home base, you know, into a psychological support and foundation. This Mercury in this house is going to show a lot of activity and communication in the home and with family members. So perhaps a lot of ideas for redecoration or, you know, what you want to do in the house. And the aspects with the Neptune are very imaginative and creative. So you'll be wanting to explore whatever avenues you choose to take in the home and with family very creatively. So you don't need to have a serious discussion. You can just think and dream big at this time. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this forecast, and if you have, please like and subscribe. Thank you for listening.